Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Thor Ragnarok Wave, I guess young Thor, is that what we're calling him? Some kind of young Thor. That's what we're gonna go with. And it's got some new parts on it, so that's pretty cool, and it's got some shading on it, so that's pretty cool, but there are some things that aren't so great, so we're gonna talk about all of that. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 18 centimeters to the top of his head, which makes him just about 7 inches. So he does have a little bit of size to him, not a whole lot, but definitely enough. And as far as accessories go, he does get this one axe, which is particularly nicely sculpted, and it's molded in a silver plastic, but then they also have a little bit of sprayed on metallic silver as well to give it a really nice finish. So I like that, and then they painted the handle as well, so that's pretty cool. And I guess other accessories, you could count his cape, but that's kind of not an accessory. You have to remove his head to get the cape to come off. We'll talk about that a little bit more now. As far as paint goes, the cape does have shading on it, and I do like that. It looks pretty good, but it's also at the same time a very soft sculpt. So it's not the best cape in the world, but it's definitely okay. It'll do. The paint job on the front is fairly sloppy, but it is there, so that's all right. Now the thing that bothers me about the cape isn't really the cape's fault, but the cape is blowing in that direction, and his hair is blowing in that direction. So it's a little... It stood out to me right away. I don't know how many people are actually going to notice that, but having one go that way and one go the other way and then this right down the middle, it just looks a little weird. Threw me off, but it's not, I guess, the biggest deal if you're not going to pay attention to that. The hair does have shading in it, some coloration in there, so that's pretty cool. The paint job on the face is fine. No paint really anywhere else as far as shading goes, but they did paint his cleavage hole, which is only painted, so it doesn't look very good. And then they painted the little strap on there, which is totally translucent and doesn't look good at all. So I really, really hate that. They painted the belt, so that's pretty good. They painted the straps down here, and they're just okay. So ultimately, it's just a very mediocre looking figure. I think this is a new body. I can't place it if we've seen it before, and for the most part, it's okay. The shoulders are still pretty far forward. And there's actually another issue with the shoulders we'll get to in a minute. But the anatomy on it, other than the shoulder placement, I like it for the most part. It's pretty good. We don't see this kind of build on too many figures these days. They're either relatively small or relatively big. So I like it. I think it's pretty good. Now, as far as articulation goes, there is a hinged ball peg for the neck, which lets him look up a little bit, but the hair gets in the way. He can look down, no problem. And then full rotation. A little bit of lean side to side, but not too much. Shoulders... They function just fine. They go all the way out to the side. These might be the Hyperion arms. I'd have to check, but I think they kind of look like it. They could be. Anyway, full rotation. Going out to the sides, no problem. Bicep swivel's fine. Double jointed elbows fine. Wrist swivel and hinge is fine. No problems at all there. That thing's just a floating piece. But here's the issue with the shoulder. The way it's connected, I don't know if this is a new thing, but you can actually see the, I don't know if it's an octagon or what. I can't quite tell, but... the beveled ring in there for the articulation. So I don't know if that's just how they're doing it now or if it's a totally universal defect or what, but I've seen somebody else, he actually thought his figure was coming apart. It can't come out, so I don't know what they're doing with that, but it does make the arm stick out really far. Like a little bit more than it should. And I don't even mind that they do stick out because you get better range out of it, but this one's definitely a little bit too far. So just be aware of that. That's how they all are apparently. Ab crunch, you get 2 notches forward. It goes really far, so that's good. And you get one notch going back, which isn't too bad. Why do they keep doing that weird beveling for the sculpt? That's so strange. So strange. Oh well. Waist twist is fine. This is actually a floating belt piece, which has like the top of the pants and the knot on there. So that's pretty clever. I like the way they did that. I think these are actually the Hyperion upper legs, but you get good range going forward. Going out to the side, definitely not too bad at all, almost full splits. Thigh swivel works just fine. Double jointed knee is fine. The boots are actually down here this time rather than being a weird chunk at the knee like we saw with that old 2012 Thor, so that's a good thing. And then he's got a full ball hinge ankle, which I do like. You get decent range going forward, decent range going back, and then full ankle rocker, obviously, which is fantastic. However, look how fat his ankles are. Those are like the fattest ankles I think we've seen on a figure this size. Why are they so fat? It makes them look so dumpy. Fat ankles and giant feet do not make these guys look more heroic. It makes them look worse. We got like some Rob Liefeld ankles and feet going on here. Actually, his were particularly tiny. They just weren't well drawn. Anyway, it's just, what the heck? Why are they so fat? They're so fat. It's disappointing. But overall, I mean, the figure's fine. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just fine. So if you like the way it looks, get it. If you don't like it, you're not really missing out. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. They are available right now at Big Bad Toy Store, so check the link in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And in the meantime, keep collecting.